जो अच्युतानंद जो मुकुंद जो अच्युतानंद जो मुकुंद जो अच्युतानंद.
In Srirangam, when Ramanujacharya was personally present, the atmosphere was so lively. All the people there, they used to attend the Ishta Goshti of Ramanujacharya, and he used to explain every day, like how we are discussing Bhagavatam, he used to explain about Nalayar Divya Prabandha. So different verses glorifying the Supreme Lord in different places by all the various Alvars. So one day he was explaining about Nammalvar's composition glorifying Lord Srinivasa at Tirumala. When he was explaining one verse, then tears were coming from his eyes. Then all his associates and associates means disciples and people, they were wondering which word of that verse made Acharya cry. So then they were asking Acharya whether this is the word which had made you cry, and what is the internal meaning of that word that made you cry. He said he was feeling for Lord Srinivasa because nobody is doing service for the Lord there. Lord has been neglected. All his sevas were not happening properly, like a systematic way here. Because even at the top of the hill, not many people visit him, no basic facilities are there. So Lord's service was hampering, not happening as per systematic way. So there were many trees which are giving flowers, and all that flowers are rotting down the floor. Nobody there to pick them up and offer them as a garland to the Lord. So then he requests all his disciples, anyone is there here who can take this commitment, go there and offer the service of offering these flowers to the Lord. Then all the senior devotees, they were putting their head down because they don't want to be sent away. Because there are many reasons for them. Some people are saying, we are very much connected to Lord Ranganatha, we don't want to miss him. Some people are saying, this is a kshetra where we have taken a kshetra sannyasa, we don't want to move out of this kshetra. Then there are some devotees who are very much attached to, not to Ranganatha, but to Ramanujacharya. We can't leave the lotus feet of our Acharya. So like that, when they are all thinking like that, there was one devotee who raises his hand and he says, I want to go and execute your mission. His name was Ananta Suri. As soon as he said this, Ramanujacharya became very happy. He called him forward and he came, paid obeisances, and Ramanujacharya hugged him. And he said, from today your name is Anantalva. So he said, when are you ready to go? He said, the moment you give me permission, right now I am ready to go away. Then other disciples said, no, how you can go away? Your wife is pregnant. It will be difficult for her to climb the hill. He said, what you said is correct. But if the child takes birth, it will be even more difficult for me to climb the hill with a baby child. It is better right now I go away. Just I am here to at the order of the Guru. I am just ready to please my Guru. That is one commitment for me. So both of the wife and husband started walking. They happily climbed the hill because they got an opportunity to serve their spiritual master. So when they went to the top of the hill, they saw there were many beautiful gardens, flowers and all were there. So he made systematic arrangement. Every day he used to grow so many flowers. He used to cut them, he used to water them, he used to maintain them. Because of his singing and because of his capacity, all the flowers were blooming with highest fragrance. And when they are offered to the Lord, the breeze coming from the altar, people used to become mesmerized. Who used to come to have darshan, the fragrance of the flowers, they were all becoming mesmerized because the water and the chanting, what he is pouring to that ring, as becoming that bhakti is flowering in that flowers. One can experience that flowers in that devotional perspective. But he was thinking, now rainy season is there, rains are there, so flowers are there in abundance. When summer comes, all these trees will fade away because there will be no water. Then he thought, I should do one thing. Every day I have to do, before the rainy season ends, I have to build a pond so that the water will be there, so that the entire summer season I can pour water to these trees. So he has taken a commitment. He and his wife will every day dig the pond for such and such time. And nobody else should take part in that service. This is his personal service to the Lord. So she is a pregnant lady and she has to, see, they have decided an area where every day he will be digging, and they have decided an area where she has to dump. So he, with his crowbar, he will be hitting and he will be putting them in a basket, and she has to carry that to a distant place, throw there and come back. She is a pregnant lady. So they have been doing many days. Seeing their sincere endeavor, Lord Srinivasa wanted to help them. He comes as a hunter one day. That lady was carrying all the things. He goes to her and says, "You are a pregnant lady, you are not supposed to do all these things and all." He snatches the basket from her and throws away at the respective place, and she comes back. He comes back and gives the empty basket to her. Then when she comes back to husband to take the next basket, husband asks, "How faster you came? It is not that you will take long time. No, how is that possible? What happened?" Then she says, "One hunter came and she said, you are a lady, you are pregnant, you are not supposed to do all this hard work and all. And he took away the basket forcefully from me and he dropped away." Then he said, "Who is that person? Let me go and see. I will warn him that he should not interfere in our service." So he goes and he sees the hunter there and he says, "Don't be here. Go away from here. Do not disturb us. This is a service. They wanted to render personal service by us. Don't interfere. Go away from here." So when he started scolding, that person went away. Again, after some time, again this lady was carrying the basket. Again he comes running, takes away that basket, throws away, and again comes back. Like again, that person is disturbing you. Then this time he takes the crowbar and starts running behind that person. So that person is running, hunter is running, Ananta is running. So when they came near the temple, so seeing that this person is slipping away from my hand, he throws the crowbar at that hunter, and the crowbar just brushes the chin of the hunter, and that hunter entered into the temple and vanished. He went inside the temple. He could not find the hunter. Then he thought, the hunter is gone. He has run away from here. Next time he will not come and disturb me. So in the meantime, he went back, and the time for the day of digging has finished, and he went back to garland the flowers. So there was a heap mound. So many flowers were there that he started garlanding them, making them into garlands. In the meantime, Lord thought, "Let me invite him and make him see what he has done to me." So he inspired the pujari, "Go and inform Anantalvar to come back immediately. I want to see him." So he goes to the Anantalvar and says, "Lord is waiting for you. Please come and give your audience to the Lord." He says, "No, I am very busy. I can't come now." He was surprised. Somebody is saying, Lord is calling him, and he is saying, "I don't want to come." So again, what to do? Nothing. He is doing. He can't do anything. He went and informed the Lord that he cannot come. It seems he will come only after he finishes making the garland. So then Lord said, "Go and inform him. Flowers can wait. I do not care if they wilt also, because on time, if you don't knit the flowers, flowers can get faded off." He's saying, "Don't bother. First, immediately come to me. The flowers can wait. I cannot wait. Tell him to come immediately." Then the messenger came, and Anantalvar said, "No, I cannot come. I cannot abandon my Pushpa Kainkarya to the Lord. Let the Lord know I cannot come before I have finished." So then this messenger is perplexed. What to communicate? These two people are playing each other from me. Then again he communicated the message to Lord, and Lord said, "For whom is this garland he is trying? If he doesn't come, tell him that I will not accept the garland." Then he came back and told, "Even if Srinivasa may accept or may not accept, this is on the order of my Guru. I am making this garland. It is up to him if he wants to accept or doesn't accept. I am not here for his service. I am here for the service of my Guru." So when he said that, Lord was becoming angrier. If he is not going to come immediately, ask him to leave my place and go away. Then when this message was communicated, the devotee was very calm and cool, Anantalvar. And this messenger was perplexed. How is he so calm and cool? And he was still making his flower garland. He says, "How he can ask me to go away? He also came here maybe few thousands years back. I came recently. So how can one visitor send another visitor? Both of us are visitors here. So he doesn't have authority on me. Only if my Acharya says go away from here, I will go away. I am committed to my Acharya, not to him. Go and inform him." So when this message was communicated, Srinivasa was very happy. That commitment what he is showing to the order of his Guru, Srinivasa was very pleased. In the meantime, he finished making the garlands. He came to the temple. He thought he has already made Lord so much anger. He did not want to show his face. He said, "Let Lord cool down. Once he is cooled down, I will come back and see his darshan." That day he just wanted to keep the garlands there and go away. So when he was keeping the garland there and going away, then Lord asked him, "Don't you want to see me? Don't you want to have my darshan?" When this word came, then he turned back and he saw the Lord, and he saw the chin with blood coming out. Then he became, what a service I have done. I have come here to serve the Lord, to please my Guru, and I am here who had damaged the Lord. Okay, if a physical person becomes damaged, I can bring some doctor who can cure this body. And he is aprakrita sharira. Which doctor will I bring him to cure him? What should I do now? And I have done a great disservice to my Guru. My Guru had sent me to take care of the deity. Here I am destroying the deity. So with this mood, he was continuously repenting in front of the Lord and praying to him. Please forgive him. And asking for the Lord, what is the remedy? Then Lord said, bring me the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees and mix it with camphor. That is the only remedy. Then all the devotees there, he collected their dust, mixed it with green camphor, and applied to the Lord. Next moment, that bleeding stopped. Even today, that significance is continued. On the chin, they keep a camphor piece as a mark of devotees' love for the Lord and Lord's love for the devotees. Sri Pada Renu it is called. The camphor what is kept at the chin of the Lord is called Sri Pada Renu, the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. So in this way, devotees are here on the order of their Guru. So their commitment, their responsibility is great. Acharyas, that's why they are glorified across the world. And since we have taken shelter of the Acharyas, it is our duty to fulfill their desires and to execute the mission of the Lord simultaneously.